And Jared Waitley, what do they say about one swallow doesn't a summer make?
Yes, yes, but it does represent progress, and I think for Israel Folau the next 2 years is going to be about minor milestones. And I also think there's the other element is he's an elite football playing a foreign game, so he's going to need these moments both to sate his competitive instincts and to encourage him along the path. It was a lovely kick too. Any full forward in the competition would have been happy with that.
OK, and we welcome this morning Melissa Barbieri, who's captain of the Matildas, to help analyse the guys' game. What are you expecting today in the grand final?
I think it's going to be a rip-roaring game, that's for sure, because Perth Glory has that momentum coming into this game, that kind of headspace of, I'm the underdog, let's go full throttle at them. You know, Brisbane Roar have played in that ACL game midweek and have lost, so maybe the mind games are in favour of Perth Glory. So I'm thinking Perth Glory might just pip them. They'll have to play a really good game, Brisbane, and show their stuff. OK, well, let's bring in Ange Postecoglou, who's, of course, a regular on Offsiders and the coach of Brisbane Roar. Ange, thanks for joining us and good luck today. And as Melissa said, it's, you're prepared for the game. In the week before the final, playing a game in another competition. It's a little weird. It's not ideal.
Very weird. You know, this will be my sixth grand final. It's definitely been the weirdest build-up, Barry. Particularly, I think when you avoid the preliminary final, you usually got 2 weeks to sort of focus on the grand final. It can be a little bit draining emotionally talking about it all the time, but with the ACL game on Tuesday, I guess it's come on us pretty quickly. And the last couple of days, you know, almost felt like we were underprepared in many respects. But boys are trained well, and you know, they're feeling pretty good about things. And from a physical point of view, Tuesday night didn't harm us at all. And you know, I'm sure we'll be ready today.
And the Asian Champions League experience has been an instructive one for the Brisbane Roar. You've tried to play to the Roar philosophy, which you've instilled in your team over the last couple of years, but you've found that hasn't been quite enough, that the Asian teams, particularly the Korean teams, have pushed up on you in the final third and made it really hard for you to dominate possession in the way that you have in the A-League. Has that dented the boys' confidence, and are you able to be confident that they're going to go in today still playing the sort of football you want against the Perth Glory team, who will, as Melissa suggested, be right in their face?
No, not at all, Francis. I mean, if anything, I think it just gives you even more ammunition and determination to keep improving, you know. I guess the one fear we have is that, you know, we're maybe going to be complacent because we've dominated the competition for the last 2 years. But the ACL's been really good, you know. We've tested ourselves against better opposition. You're right, we've been found short a little bit in certain areas. But that's great, you know, that's more stuff that we need to work on. And I know the players have always had that attitude that we want to keep going to the next level. You know, I don't think the loss harmed us on Tuesday night. If anything, like I said, it provided us with a little bit of extra motivation. And you're right, Perth are going to be right in us, in our faces today and going to make it tough. But that's a grand final. That's kind of what you expect and what you want. And I'm still confident we'll be able to overcome it.
Melissa?
Hi, Ange. Good luck today. I wanted to just ask, I remember you having the back-to-back in 98-99 with South Melbourne in the old NSL. How does this team compare to the team of the old South Melbourne? And do you think Broish is the new Paul Trimboli?
Without the mullet.
Yeah, no. It was funny because when obviously Thomas won the Johnny Warren medal the other night, and when he won it, they actually called out Paul Trimboli's name as a previous winner. And as you know, Paul Trimmers works for us at the moment as a team manager, and Thomas kind of raised his eyebrows. He goes, all right, I'm in elite company now. So, no, look, they're both exceptional players. I don't like comparing the two teams. It's just different eras, but the one thing I do know is that going back-to-back is extremely tough. And the A-League hasn't been done yet. And, you know, both sets of teams have shown that sort of championship quality. Often the second year is more demanding and has been for us this year. I think we took teams by surprise a little bit this year, whereas last year, you know, we've been challenged from day one. We had our mid-season slump, which, again, that, you know, you see how people react to that. And, you know, champion teams sort of pick themselves up off the floor. And our run home since Christmas have been exceptional. So I don't like comparing both teams, but I'll be quite happy to, you know, have another back-to-back with a different set of players.
Yeah. And none of us really want to see it, but have you prepared for the eventuality of the dreaded penalty shootout?
Yeah, the tradition is that, or what I like to do is give the players one each the day before. it always ends up in disaster. The guys you expect to do well always miss the day before, and the ones who don't expect to take one feel pretty good about themselves, so they score the day before. Look, I took a penalty in a penalty shootout back in '91 against the Melbourne Knights, and I can tell you I was the regular penalty taker, but that feeling of walking up to that penalty spot, it's quite unique. You can't replicate it any other way, and it'll just be how the boys feel on that moment. I think if I remember last year, the momentum we had going into penalties after coming back sort of helped us. If you looked at Perth last week, similar sort of thing. They felt really good about it. So I'm just hoping it doesn't come to that, mate. I really don't want it to come down to penalties. I'd much rather be finished after 90 minutes, in our favour, obviously.
And you were yesterday described as the most sought-after football coach in any code at any time in Australia. I know your official line on these things, but come with me down this line of questioning. Do you know what you're doing after tonight's grand final?
Well, I reckon a career in politics beckons me after the way I've answered this question over the last month without saying anything. And I was thinking that somebody will ask me today, Jared, and I was going to blame the audio that I missed the question. But look, at the end of the day, obviously I have a decision to make, and I'll be making that when the dust settles and, you know, when everything's sorted out in terms of our commitments, particularly today, because it's grand final day, and as I've said to a lot of people, that's all I really think about. And, you know, I think once kick-off goes today, that's all the players will be thinking about as well. And, you know, once the final whistle is blown and everything's settled, hopefully I'll be celebrating, and I wouldn't mind taking a couple of days to do that, and then you know, when the time's right, the decision will be made, and you know, I'll be able to tell people what's happening in the future.
We look at all football codes when these sorts of things unfold, and the Western Force is the latest case study of this. Did you have a moment where you sat with your players, said what was about to unfold, and laid it out there as a group of adults to absorb and comprehend and then go about this campaign?
Oh, you know, look, I guess it comes down to the individual. I mean, I spoke to the players probably about a month ago and sort of said to them that there may be speculation about me, and just sort of leaving it at that, and said, you know, let's concentrate on the job at hand. And you know, I think that's all you can do, live in the moment. And particularly for me in my coaching career, I've said it consistently, I kind of try and do the job I've got as well as possible, and then sort of see what happens from there. And you know, we've been pretty good at being focused on our task, and we wouldn't be here where we are today if not for that. But, you know, the sporting landscape is constantly changing, and there's constant challenges on and off the field, and particularly in our code in recent times. So, you know, you're always looking at, you know, what the next step for yourself is individually, and for the club and for the players. And, you know, at the same time, if that takes you away, though, from what you're doing at hand, it means you're going to be unsuccessful. So my focus and the players, the whole club's been on this grand final.
Well, Ange Postecoglou, thank you very much for taking time on a huge day. Appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you on the couch next week.
Thank you. Look forward to it.